Four videos in one day. I don't think that has ever happened. But uh, I mean, not that I have a ton of time on my hands. Although working for yourself and being able to make your own schedule is awesome. Uh, I wanted to share a couple of miracles. Um, when I first started my walk with Jesus Christ, um, I prayed a lot, and I'm not saying I don't pray a lot now, but I prayed for a lot of people around me. And one of the people that I prayed for was one of my clients that um, I I um, I noticed that he had a substance problem, and why and how I say I noticed it is this was back in December when there was snow outside, and a lot of times I noticed there was puke in the snow. So I mean, he's a young kid. He's 27 years old, and owns his own house. I take care of his dogs, and you know, uh, yeah. So he would have his friends over, I guess, on the weekends or whatever, and just like 27-year-olds do. And I was a little bit concerned about him because I had, before I became born again, I had a drinking problem. So I prayed for him because I know he's a good kid. He's such a nice person. And I last minute one night, um, the end of December, or it was like the first few days of January, um, I prayed for him, and I asked the Lord Jesus Christ that I'm like, look, this person's such a good kid. Um, can you please help him? Um, and interestingly enough, and this is truth, um, the next day, and this was a quick miracle. Like, wow, there's power in prayer. The next day, I received a text message from my client saying, "Hey, this is last minute and unexpected, but I'm going to be checking myself into a 30-day program. So I won't need you to walk my dogs. Uh um my friend is going to be taking my dogs for the 30 days while I get help." And I was floored because this was like the first miracle that I have been witness to personally, with my walk with Jesus Christ. And after that, by the way, I was like praying. I was like, I was laying it all down and praying all these prayers and just going crazy because I was like, oh, like they're like, because of the miracle that I witnessed, I was just praying like crazy. Um, but here's the thing. I He was one of the few clients that I actually had at the time because I moved here in this area only a few months before this happened, so I didn't build a client base yet. So he was actually one of the or the only, actually, yes, he was the only person that I was getting money from when I first moved here. Luckily, I had paid all my bills um, for the month of December and the month of January. Um, And so, but the thing is I wasn't even thinking about my bills or my situation. I was just so happy and so elated that he was getting help, that it just didn't matter what my financial situation was. So, um, so I didn't have, I ran out of money pretty quickly because I was basically unemployed for those 30 days in January. But again, at least I had my bills paid for. I don't make car payments. Um, uh, so the only thing is like I didn't have money for, I don't use credit cards either, by the way. So it's like I didn't have money for like towards the end of the month, towards the end of that 30 days. It's like I was running out of food, and I actually had to borrow a 20 spot from my ex-husband for gas. Um and that was hard to even ask him for that, for to borrow $20 from your ex. Um but it was humbling too, because during those 30 days I spent time with Jesus Christ. That the whole 30 days it was just me and Jesus Christ getting to know each other. And it was very humbling too, because as I was running out of food, uh, it's very humbling when you have no food. Because then you appreciate that I'm eating, and I'm like, I'm eating the last couscous in my house, and I'm just eating like couscous with a little bit of vegetable broth, and I only had flour left too, so I was making these. I took some of the vegetable broth and the flour and salt, and I was making these fried vegetable flavored bread nugget things in the fryer. But I was so grateful to have that food. So that the reason why I'm telling you that I like ran out of food and whatever is, um I'm the type of person who never ever asks or burdens anyone else and asks for help. I just don't. I'm the type of person where, and I have, where somebody could call me last minute and um, have me drive 6 hours to go help them, which I did that for my brother. Um, he was stranded in Vermont, and he knew I lived in Keene at the time, and he was like, I'm stuck here. Can you come pick me up? And I was like, I have to be at work in a couple hours. Can you wait a day and I can pick you up tomorrow? And he's like, yeah. So what I did was I drove to pick him up all the way up northern Vermont, drove him all the way to Gardner, Mass, and drove all the way back to Keene to go to work. And it was crazy. But in any event, I never burden anybody else. Like, I don't want to be a burden. And I've been like that my whole life. I just don't ask for help. I don't. So, so my second miracle is I have two vehicles. I have a Toyota Prius, which I love. I get like 54, 55 miles to the gallon. And I bought a beat up 2000 Honda CRV for the winter months here in the Berkshires. Well, if you're familiar with the New England area, in a matter of an hour, the weather can completely change and come up, and surprise you. So I was going to see my son after I was done working, and the roads were clear, so I went and brought my Prius instead of the CRV, and it started flurrying, and the temperature dropped, and it got really icy. And my ex lives on a dirt road, and this dirt road is narrow, winding, and the grade of this dirt road is like 8%, so it's like it's steep. So as I'm attempting to drive my Prius down this road, it was a lot icier and it's ice. So I didn't have great tires. I still don't have great tires on my Prius. Um, and it's ice. So it wouldn't even matter if I had studded tires because ice, if it's that steep, and front wheel drive, it's really not going to grip. So anyhow, I'm going down and my car slid. It was sliding and my foot was like already on the brake and I'm sliding down this hill and there is a ravine. There's like this ditch on one side, which if I get my car stuck in it, forget about it. And there was a ravine on the other side where my car could go off the side, and there's only like 3 to 4 inch diameter trees that would hold either way. Like it would stink that I would be stuck there. So my car slid all the way to the side and I was stuck right there just like that on this hill that's 8%. So I'm like this. And I had a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ at the time. Now, again, I never asked for help, but I'm sitting there and my heart's racing. My heart is racing because if I get my car stuck, it's like I'd have to call a tow truck that I can't afford because I don't have AAA. A whole bunch of stuff. I'm just like, I'm sitting there like, okay, what am I going to do? So I said, and I was like, I don't want to burden my father, but I prayed and I said, Father, can you please help me? Because I was in panic mode because I'm like, I'm on the ice and I'm like this and I'm there and I'm like, it's cold out. And I'm like, this is not cool. So I prayed and I said, could you please give me a hand, and I apologized. I said, I know I didn't take the CRV. I know I'm being a pain in the butt. Oh, could you just please help me? And I'm not kidding. Okay. Because I was stuck because I'm like, the thing is it's front wheel drive. So as I was sliding and I was this way, I was afraid I was going to go, my back end was going to go and I was going to go down backwards into either the ditch or to the ravine. So, and this is what happened, truly. I maneuvered to where I put my nose, you know, down the hill going the right way. Now see, still I can slide this way and go into the ditch. I can slide this way because the road, this dirt road is like this. So I'm like, oh man. So it's like, please can you help me, Father? You know I wouldn't ask for help unless I really needed it. And I'm not kidding you. I kind of got my nose forward and my dog, my little dog here that you've seen in previous videos, he went crazy and started barking as if he saw something outside my car. Now I pictured in my head angels, that my dog is seeing angels because he's not a barker, but if someone comes up to the car, he'll bark. He doesn't, he's not yippy and like barks all day. He's a very, very quiet dog. But if someone walks up to the car, he's barked until they put out their hand and they pet him, and then that's fine. So my dog starts barking because he sees something that I don't. So I put my nose forward in my car and I slowly inched, but it's like I could feel that my car had, a little bit of resistance going down as I was being helped. That's the only way that I could that I can describe it as I was being helped the rest of the way down. Needless to say, I wound up spending the night at my ex's downstairs on the futon, because there was no way that my car was going to make it out of there because it was still snowing and sleeting and raining and all that stuff. And so, yep, so that was my second miracle, that my Prius, which, I've I've had somebody call it tampon on wheels. um yes, that I know in my heart, I know in my heart that when I prayed and asked for help, I don't know if it was like the hand of the Lord Jesus Christ came down on my little toy tampon car and helped me, or angels came and helped me with my car. But yep, that was just the two miracles that I wanted to share, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe I made you smile, or whatever. That's the whole point of making videos, is to connect, to encourage, and to share. And while we're waiting for the Lord Jesus Christ to be here. So I hope you have a very good night, and God bless.